Hey everybody, Jared Wade, Communications Director for the Town of Avon, and I'm here with Ian Loera. He is our Senior Planner, and normally for a Plan Commission quick recap, we have Bill Peoples, who is our Planning Director. However, Bill's son is, graduating is not the right term, I don't think.
I think it might be. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
I have no idea, but he's just graduated from boot camp in the Marines. So Bill is a Marine, and he is out there in San Diego with his son, encouraging him and spending some time on the West Coast. So we wish him safe travels as he makes his way out there and then comes back here next week. And congratulations to Bill's son for graduating. That whole process, which I've heard is
grueling,
is very intensive. So I'm glad that there are individuals like that serving the community. If you are a Marine or somebody in the armed forces, we appreciate your service, and we have an immense amount of respect for each and every single one of you. So right now we are talking about Monday night, which was a Plan Commission meeting. It was a very full house. Because I think of one or two specific items, but Ian has graciously said, hey, you know what, let's give everybody a quick recap of that meeting since it was a little bit of a longer meeting, and I'll let you take it away, Ian. What happened?
Sure. First thing we should talk about is Manors at Avon. That's a primary plat for a plot of land on Avon Avenue, just below Sugarwood. That petition has been continued. They're working through some drainage issues that our consulting engineer has identified. So before they can go to Plan Commission and ask for approval, they need to work through those things. So that has been continued to next month's meeting, which is on November 28th. I remembered this time.
There you go. Nice.
So that was all the continuances and agenda modifications we had for Monday's meeting. So the first item on the agenda, and first two, because they're connected, were for Satori Point. There is a development going into the west of the State Bank. They're dividing that lot, Block B, into two lots, and they're building identical retail buildings there. Don't know what's going in there at the moment, but they are just spec buildings with multiple tenant spaces in them. So they were approved their DPR and their plat amendment with no conditions. So that one went smooth. Don't think there was any comment from the public on that one.
Perfect.
Next up, we had the Beechwood Center plat amendment. That was just for moving a lot line in the Rural King retail strip there. There's a sale of property going on, so they're shifting that lot line towards the west, I believe west of Emmys.
Okay.
So nothing major there. That was approved with no conditions. And then we had the big one, which was Countryside Estates primary plat. And that's the proposed subdivision going in on 100 North there. They're proposing, I believe, 60 single family lots. So we had a big turnout for that one. A lot of people were able to speak about their opinion on that. So in addition to the actual plat, they were requesting a waiver to allow for just a single access on 200 North, whereas normally for a development of that size, two accesses are required. So after a lot of discussion, a lot of input from the public, that waiver was denied. And as a result of the denial of the waiver, the petitioner requested a continuance for that plat so they could go back, redesign, and hopefully bring forward a more favorable proposal to the Plan Commission. So,
sure. And I think the only reason, if I remember correctly, it's just the amount of units that are in that space, correct?
Yep. So depending on how many units are in a subdivision will determine how many accesses you need on perimeter roads, and that's for full of traffic, but mostly for safety, so that fire trucks have more than one access should one access be blocked in the event of an emergency.
Okay.
So no decision was ultimately made on the petition. They'll be coming back. I believe, they got a continuance for 1 month to the November 28th meeting. And the last one we had was Ellis Minor Plat. That's a subdivision of land into 3 lots just for single family residences. It was 46 acres that they divided into 3 rather large lots. There's some input from the public, but that was a ministerial petition, so it met the standards of the ordinance, with the exception of a waiver for a sidewalk. There's a lot of frontage there, so they were asking for a waiver of constructing a 10-foot trail across. The Plan Commission did approve a modification of the sidewalk requirements there to accommodate that, and ultimately the plat was approved. So
There you go.
that was what we had on the agenda.
Yeah, a couple of really big ticket items, but outside of those really big ticket items, it was a pretty straightforward. And like you had mentioned, there are ministerial, is that what it's pronounced?
Yep.
Ministerial items that really, as long as they, and I hate to simplify this or overly simplify it, but as long as they check the boxes and they meet the requirements, the Plan Commission basically has to say, yep, our opinion doesn't really hold you back as long as it checks those boxes. So
they have a right to use their property in a manner that's consistent with the ordinance, and as long as they prove that it is consistent with our ordinance. That differs from discretionary petitions, which would be your rezones, where the Plan Commission and ultimately the town council has the discretion to approve or deny based on however they may feel on it. They do have some things they have to keep in mind when they make those decisions, but ultimately it's not an absolute criteria.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate the members of the board and the commissions for Plan Commission, BZA, and everything in between, RDA, RDC, the PBRC or PRBC, Parks, Recreation, Beautification Council. Yeah, PRBC. And here pretty soon, you're actually going to be hearing from a lot of those council, not council, but board and commission members, because we're going to be focusing the next month or so on who are in those positions and getting a bit more feedback into your ears about why they did that. I have spoken with a few different commissioner individuals and a few board members, and they are very open to having conversations to talk about why they joined a board or commission, what their intent was, what they've learned along the way. Because one of the really big perks and benefits of living in the town of Avon is you can serve on one of those boards, one of those commissions, which then allows you to have a greater depth of input into how the town evolves and grows and develops and everything like that. So I know that there are some folks that do not live within the town of Avon that are watching this, some folks that are in the town. If you are in the town, you can vote for the council members. You're able to pursue boards and commissions placement as well, and serve the community that you live in and that you love, hopefully. So Ian, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you. Bill, if you're watching, stop watching and hang out with your son. Go
True.
fishing or something like that. Everybody else, enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. All right. Bye.